Good afternoon and welcome to the special meeting of the Skokie Village Board. It is Sunday, April 22nd, 1 p.m. The Village Board has called a special meeting pursuant to Governor Pritzker's Executive Order number 2020-07, which in part allows local governments and public bodies relief from the Open Meetings Act requirements relating to in-person attendance at public meetings and permits elected officials to attend a public meeting by telephone, video conference, or other electronic means, and to record their vote on properly noticed action items. Further, the governor's order allows public bodies to conduct meetings electronically by telephone and video conferencing without having to comply with the physical quorum requirement or any limitations on board members' electronic participation. The term of this relief is the duration of the gubernatorial disaster proclamation. That meeting will be in order, and we will be led by the Pledge of Allegiance by Village Clerk Pramod Shah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Roberts?
Here.
Trustee Sutker is present by
I'm here remotely.
remotely. Okay. Trustee Ulrich?
Here.
Trustee Bromberg won't be with us today. Trustee Klein?
Here.
Trustee Gray Keeler?
Here.
Mayor Van Dusen?
Here. We have a quorum. First item on the agenda is approval of the notice of special meeting and concurrence with conducting the special meeting. I just read from that notice, so a motion is in order. Trustee Roberts, seconded by Trustee Ulrich. Call the roll, please.
Trustee Roberts?
Aye.
Trustee Sutker?
Aye.
Trustee Ulrich?
Aye.
Trustee Bromberg? Absent. Trustee Klein?
Aye.
Trustee Gray Keeler?
Aye.
Mayor Van Dusen?
Aye. For the record, Trustee Sutker cannot vote as yet. We have not approved anything, so thank you very much, but we must make that exception. The principal reason for our being here today is report of our Corporation Counsel, Michael Lorge.
Thank you, Mayor, trustees. Item A on my agenda for today is an ordinance concerning meetings of the village during the COVID-19 critical emergency and the ability of our municipality to function in terms of operations and finances. Before I speak to the heart of the ordinance, let me say to those of our residents who might be watching this proceeding that we, the leadership and staff of the Village of Skokie, have been and continue to work very hard to plan for our community needs and to take actions for our collective good. You are not alone, because we are working with our first responders, our hospitals, and professional staffs to inform you and to protect you. Let us all remember that to whatever degree this feels overwhelming, we can still reach out to each other through phone, through the internet, to support each other and to break through feelings of isolation. One of the best examples that I have heard of is the writing of chalk messages on the sidewalk expressing encouragement and concern to those who might be out and about on walks, of course, maintaining social distance. The action that we take today is to enable us as a community to continue to provide full services and resources. This is the only reason for this ordinance today. On March 16th, as the mayor pointed out, 2020, in order to promote social distancing as required in response to the COVID-19 health emergency, Governor Pritzker signed Executive Order 2020-07, which in part allows local governments and public bodies relief from the Open Meetings Act, which has requirements relating to in-person attendance at public meetings and permits elected officials to attend a public meeting electronically, including by telephone or video conferencing. The order also permitted public bodies to conduct meetings electronically without having to comply with the physical quorum requirement or any other limitations that a board meeting might have. However, the Village of Skokie Code specifically prohibits participation in village meetings other than in person. The Village Code does not permit participation in village meetings electronically, including by telephone or video conferencing. Therefore, we have requested this meeting to enable this body sitting in person to temporarily, during the pendency of the emergency, to alter our village code to be consistent with the governor's executive order and allow for practices electronically that many other municipalities already have. We are all keenly aware of the growing presence of COVID-19 in the village of Skokie, and the village of Skokie Public Health Department has warned us of the growing impact of the virus, and it has instructed, consistent with the CDC, that we implement social distancing. We know further that yesterday Illinois has taken firm steps to empower and enforce social distancing. As in such matters, it is the local authority and resources of the village that can have the biggest impact in protecting our residents, and therefore we must above all assure that our village government can continue to function. Skokie's first and foremost priority is the health, safety, and well-being of its residents and the public at large. This is highest priority in terms of the perilous conditions that we face. Therefore, we are recommending this ordinance in order to guarantee the orderly and ongoing conduct of Skokie operations, including required public health actions, while at the same time establishing meaningful means to keep residents informed and engaged in our meetings. In light of this critical stage and the fight against COVID-19, we propose the following in this ordinance. The village board can hold all meetings for the unforeseen future electronically, including by telephone or video conferencing. 2, to keep the public informed and engaged in Skokie governance, electronic meetings will be live streamed to the public in real time and will also be made available to the public on Skokie's website subsequent to the meeting. 3, to provide for public participation in the meetings, written comments or questions regarding any item on the published agenda or presented as public comment can be sent to the village manager, who will read them at the meeting. And 4, a portion of Chapter 2, Article 2, Section 2-38 and 2-42 of the Skokie Village Code will be suspended concerning quorum and majority vote and meetings to be open to the public. Mayor, I request board action to adopt this ordinance this afternoon and that we suspend the rules to permit this vote on a single reading, given the exigent circumstances facing the village and everyone's familiarity with the idea of teleconferencing or video conferencing. This would require a vote on the motion to suspend the rules and then a separate motion on the substantive ordinance.
Okay. The first motion would be to suspend the rules and to only require one reading of the proposed ordinance. Trustee Klein, seconded by Trustee Gray Keeler. Are there any comments or questions on the motion? If not, please call the roll.
Trustee Roberts,
Aye.
Trustee Ulrich,
Aye.
Trustee Klein,
Aye.
Trustee Gray Keeler,
Aye.
and Mayor Van Dusen.
Aye, the motion passes. The
I would
second,
like to say too that I agree with suspending.
okay, the second motion is on the ordinance as recommended, granting relief from portions of Chapter 2, Sections 2 through 38, as well as 2-42 of the Skokie Village Code for duration of the gubernatorial declaration of an emergency issued in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Motion is in order. Trustee Ulrich, seconded by Trustee Roberts. Are there any comments or questions on the motion? Trustee Sucker, do you have any questions?
No questions, thank you.
Call the roll, please.
Trustee Roberts,
Aye.
Trustee Ulrich,
Aye.
Trustee Klein,
Aye.
Trustee Gray Keeler,
Aye.
Mayor Van Dusen.
Aye, the motion passes.
Mayor, can we just point out that this is a full open in-present meeting and that the doors of Village Hall are open, we're open, and the notice mentioned that, and that there's no one in chambers that seeks to speak at this time to the motion.
And something else that I will point out, passage of this relief does not mean that members of the village board will not be will not do in-person attendance at board meetings. Simply means that temporarily, if anybody wishes to do live streaming, they may do so, but we ask that they get in touch with the village manager by noon of that day, so we can make sure the arrangements are made so everybody who wishes can do it. But otherwise, we will continue to have in-person attendance. Next item is report of our village manager, an update.
Thank you, Mayor Van Dusen and Village Board. Good afternoon, everyone. Governor Pritzker issued a stay-at-home executive order effective Saturday, March 21st at 5 p.m. through April 7th. He specified that all non-essential businesses shall stop operating and that we all have a personal responsibility to stay home as much as possible and maintain social distancing. As of yesterday, there were 753 cases reported in Illinois of the coronavirus, with 6 deaths. 548 of those cases were in Cook County. The village has been coordinating our efforts with the state, with Cook County, the Skokie Hospital, and we have had frequent conference calls and updates with the state of Illinois, Cook County, Chicago, the Illinois Municipal League, the Mayor's Caucus, and the Northwest Municipal Conference. Actually, the next update conference call is this evening at 7. I would like to thank our state legislators and Cook County Commissioner for assisting us in coordinating our efforts as we serve the community and our residents and businesses. Now, as for specific for Skokie, as of yesterday afternoon, there were 15 confirmed cases of COVID-19. These are the cases identified within Skokie, and these patients range in age from 20s to 80s, and 3 people have been hospitalized. Unfortunately, we have had 1 death. The village's health department, under the leadership of Dr. Kennard, is ensuring that close contacts of the cases are notified and placed in quarantine for 14 days. We are one of only 7 municipal health departments in the state. We are encouraging our residents to use the village's website as a resource for information. The village's coronavirus website was first posted on April 29th, and we are updating it daily.
Not April 29th.
I'm sorry, excuse me, January 29th. I appreciate that. The village's coronavirus website was first posted on January 29th and is updated daily. We'll
We try to
continue
be
to do that.
forward-looking.
That's right, exactly. Individuals who would like to be notified when that web page is updated can sign up for an email alert on that website page. I also want to remind the community that the village has an emergency communication system to contact residents and businesses in an emergency with important information. We issued a text alert on Tuesday, March 17th, and a message that was distributed through text, emails, and telephone calls yesterday on March 21st. If interested individuals did not receive those messages, we encourage you to go to the village's website and sign up for this emergency communication system. It's commonly referred to as Code Red or is known as Reverse 911. We are also communicating directly with our businesses, and resources for our small businesses and business community are available on that website as well. I do want to note that there is a listing of Skokie restaurants, grocery stores, and pharmacies that deliver and are offering curbside pickup on that page of the village's website. The village hall and public works facilities are closed to the public, but the village employees are continuing to provide service through the telephone and internet. We are here to help you as needed. Fire and police, as well as public works services, continue. We continue to encourage neighbors to reach out to neighbors over the phone and through email to stay connected and offer assistance. Together, we will move through this time. And that completes my report.
Thank you. I would like to add that just on a personal note that I want to thank John, Michael, the entire village staff, Dr. Kennard, as well as all of the people who have volunteered to help us out. The medical corps has been working with Dr. Kennard. We're working with the hospital on doing, helping out with contact tracing and doing other things. Also, it's important, and if you see any of them, to just thank them. Our police, our fire, our public works are all carrying out their service. Also, I want to reach out and thank our residents for the comments and the questions that they have sent to all of us. If you have a question, please get in touch with us. We will do our best to answer you. The other day, I was down in the health department, and we are fully operational with a rather large corps of volunteers, as well as our professional nursing staff, who are answering residents' questions. If, for some chance, we are not able to answer your question, we will get back to you. Please leave a message. In addition, we are working with the governor's office to answer some of the questions that you have had. Some of our daycare operators, for example, have had some questions about the fine points of the governor's ordinance. We are working to get all of that information out to you on the website. We do have frequently asked questions. The answers to these questions have been coordinated with the county, City of Chicago, State of Illinois, and our board-certified health department. So it's the best possible advice. And then finally, I do want to thank the Centers for Disease Control in Washington. They have been very helpful. Our two senators, our congresswoman, have all reached out to us and are working with us through the CDC. It's a large operation. We are trying to coordinate it as best we can. So I want to thank everybody for everything that they have done. I have not received any questions or comments to be presented to the board by a resident for today's meeting. Does anybody have any question that was presented to them for the meeting today by a resident or themselves? Okay, I do not see anybody in the audience for citizen comments. So at this point, I would ask for a motion to adjourn the special meeting. trustee Klein, seconded by trustee Roberts. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.